Hi everyone, my name's Natalie Davenport. I'd just like to run over with you this brainstorming model of how I'd like to run, how I'd like to coordinate basically like family gatherings where international families can come and spend time in Bali at a homestay retreat with local families. And this is the model I've sort of come up with the different aspects, being some of these lines and skills are going to relationships. Wait, if we scroll down a bit, and the elements. So the basic elements, and I've got another short video just about the ISN structure and but the relationships, what it's responsible for governing in this kind of model, because I see it as basically a way for families to gather together that's outside the realm of capitalism. I don't want people making money out of me or my child for me being able to live somewhere or spend time somewhere. So this is basically all. My aim is to help for equality between Western and Eastern cultures here in Bali. I'll go into a lot more in some other blog talks, I'm sure, with currency exchange and just things we seem to take for granted in the Western world. So it basically everything is revolving around the ISN, because the aims and goals of a ISN is that it is not for profit, that it has goals and ambitions and aims. So I imagine there'll be quite productive businesses that are going to help the community in general and development and stuff. But if there's any profit as such, there's a plan for, it's not going to be profit. It will go back into the community, whether that's to improve the community itself or seed other communities. And I'll get into the outreach program a bit later. So we have our yayasan here, cooperatively managed within Indonesia. I'm still just looking into the legal structures, but as far as I'm aware at the moment, the yayasans have to have a local board. I am going to talk with Sagittarius's I don't know the name of it, sorry, but board, their sort of leader or sponsor of that yayasan is from Europe. They're Dutch, so I have a bit more to do in terms of whether there can be also international families on a cooperatively managed board, or whether it just has to be local families. But regardless of that, we have this homestay village concept, which is where I see international families joining, and I imagine and I guess all these are like little working groups. Like if you had a what's that place, Tava down in Tasmania, you've got your little sub-working groups for different aspects of the community. So I guess these are the aspects of the community. We've got our homestay village. So that's where you can have timeshare retreat guests. I'm just calling it like a timeshare because that's the easiest way I can figure out in my mind to see how, families can make contributions, financial contributions or in-kind contributions, and then come once a year, whether it be 1 week, 1 month, or 6 months, or the whole year, and be staying as retreat guests. And then that's actually linked to the yayasan. Yayasans can have a PT business attached. A PT is like a private enterprise or profit-making business, but of course the profit goes into the yayasan. So I see this being actually the main income, sustainable income for the yayasan, which will help to build the school, which will help to set up the restaurant. We've got training programs with the school. We've got visiting teachers and therapists from other yayasans. international graduates coming to do, what do you call it, like placements. Pardon me. We have the community farm. So, yeah, I mean, that all needs capital to start up. Once it's running, that will have its own income with selling produce, which will go straight to the Warong as well. Our kids in the special school will have, I don't like the word meaningful employment, but you know what I mean, like opportunities to experience, getting customer service skills and cooking skills, and just being part of community business. So we have that aspect, the community farm aspect, and then of course the healing centre or spa. So, and that's sort of tied in with these visiting teachers and therapists, also the Jogolo. A Jogolo is just basically a wooden building that comes from Java, but they're like a big building, so it's sort of like a bit of a community space, workshop space, so that's the meaning of Jogolo. So within the healing centre, I anticipate there'll be, whether it's workshops or therapy sessions and programs from visiting therapists or teachers, healing modalities as well as more traditional therapies like communication, behaviour therapy, but also that would be also tied to the retreat in terms of massage and spa, and with the farming, and probably not the Warong, but with the farming we would like to grow produce that can be used in the healing spa, whether that's turmeric and ginger, flowers or scents that are used in body wraps or body scrubs, and also so we can, when we go into the bamboo workshops, we can make baskets and put together gift baskets that can be sold through. One example I really love in Bali is the Synergistically school, and they have a warung or restaurant attached to the front of their activity centre, and alongside the warung is a small shop, so where they sell their crafts and arts and produce. I imagine we would actually be selling stuff online too, and families, when they go back home, they can take gifts back for their families back in Australia that are actually really handmade and locally made, and you see who actually makes it. It's not just someone in a back room in a village or a sweatshop getting paid shit to produce something. So the main aspects, what did I just call the other ones? I think these are elements, and then the aspects are like having daily meals and activities together. The Yayasan, of course, will be its main, I don't like the word function, its main thing is around the special kids, the special school, and running their programs, having the teachers, having the therapists, parents being involved, and then ground zero is just what I call people that come that want to have a social exchange. There'll be people on social visas, social and cultural exchange. So all these people can come and help in the special school program. We've got things like dance and cultural exchange. For me, it gives my daughter peer group and friendship, which she would have missed out on living in Australia. I live in Bali now with my daughter. We have this natural schooling aspect and element, and really, like, normal kids can join in too. It doesn't really matter, but the main thing is that it's accessed by local families. So it's really a local charity for local accessed by local families, with a special school program, daily activities, and and then these are the other parts: the warung restaurant, and the community farm, the healing centre can sort of be more in line with the PT side of the ISN. So yeah, families that come from overseas, maybe they can book in through Airbnb. Basically, you come as an international family and just join in the local program with the local kids, and parents can have some time for themselves, massage, and just time out, and a lot of restoration stuff. I think parents really need. I don't know. For me, myself, as a single parent, I definitely need it. And so, and then on this side we have people on the social visas. They can be people that might actually, regularly come like every year for 1 month a year as well, or whatever it is, more as an in-kind contribution to make. So you've got your locals here, your sort of international families here that are going to be, for like financial contributors, and then here you have your people like your people coming for a working holiday program, cultural exchange, people wanting to come and learn skills, skilling local. That's in the wrong place. Workshop, yeah. So and this will also kind of attach in as, I guess, actually people on this side will be hosting workshops. Maybe that's like myself, through their own kind of workshop they're offering privately. The Homestay Village or Yayasan offers to host that workshop, and either gets a payment or the local families get to benefit from that by attending for free, or however the ISN wants to manage it. I mean, usually the local families would pay a small fee to the ISN, but it would be at a much more local, affordable level. But I mean, it's just basically a way to integrate that local families can participate at the same level as international families, and it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're committed to it and you have a contribution that you can make. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to attend or be part of it. So here we have like the artist village, and so we're visiting practitioners, skilled professionals. This is sort of my idea around, like, there's a lot of people who have great skills, maybe don't want to spend 20 years in a city, saving up money to be able to buy some land somewhere. Like, through contributing your professional skills and bringing your art like to this village, you can earn a place there, as it were. You can earn a place there. So, and maybe you're not wanting to be there 12 months a year. Maybe it's just somewhere you want to come and stay for 2 or 3 months a year. So there's this ability for people to have in-kind contribution, and I would like people to become long-term members of the community, even though it's not in a sort of financial way. There's a different dynamic with the local families, but just that there's stuff that you come and you do when you're there, whether it's caring with the local kids, caring like in a caring role, or doing work in the local school, facilitating activities. Maybe you're offering your skills in the healing centre, or that's part of your in-kind contribution, or you're doing therapy for the kids, doing some, and I'm just thinking of Emmett therapy. It's going through my head at the moment. There's sort of like 5 rounds. You've got your gardens, so yeah, you could be working in the organic gardens when you're there. that could be your contribution, which I generally see as like 4 to 6 hours a day. So like how I work at the moment with my HelpX program, if you're contributing 4 hours a day, then you buy your own food and provide your own transport. Like, I'm not responsible for that side, but if you're working 6 hours a day, then your meals are like, I'm buying food and everything's sort of included. I'm taking it around everywhere. So yeah, it's this kind of like artist village, bringing that sort of culture, music, culture, art, yoga, eco projects. Like, definitely I want to have social projects going on, people that, you know, can put in a proposal and come, like, spend 2 months, 3 months in Bali and actually, you know, be doing something that directly benefits the local community or the community as a whole. So for example, I've just been organising with a gentleman from the United States who's a Pacquiao, I can't say it, Pacquiao, that one, instructor, and he's going to come for 2 months and help us build a playground for Pacquiao. No, that's the boxer, sorry, I'm not going to get it right. And so when we work out how we so that's going to, where is that going to be? That's going to be in the bamboo workshop area. So local kids and kids from the special school, he's got experience both with special needs children and teaching like strength and training, and normal kids too. He was saying a lot of autistic kids are coming in America. It's getting really popular to have autistic kids in their class, and it's really helping them channel their energy and even, you know, start to communicate and stuff through being able to harness their physical energy. So the idea is to nut out his designs, his playground thing, and then actually go out and do a couple of outreach projects, maybe spend a week over in Lombok and do some workshops over there. We met some great people when I went to go and buy my alang-alang roofing for my bamboo house in Bali, and I just have this thing, I want to go back there and I want to go and play with those kids and have fun and do stuff. So that's one option, and also the families that came and helped me build my house in Denpasar, who've been doing this prototype house with me. I'd love to go out to their village in Negara, which is West Bali, and maybe do something similar. I mean, there's lots of these side little projects and sprouts and lovely little, you know, community things that I'd like to see happen. And I guess that takes me into this, where is our outreach. This is a big part I'd really like to see. So being able to share the technology, which I haven't really gone into yet, but around the bamboo workshop, like the main gist, I don't know what you call it, idea around the house that I'm building and the actual physical structure of this village is that it's something that's non-polluting, it's actually in harmony with the environment. We've got this whole natural schooling, natural learning, that it's actually, you know, this is my passion, you know, the workshops, helping build infrastructure, vertical gardens, food gardens, you know, technology and renewable energy systems that don't pollute, that are self-sustaining, that, you know, are healthy, and where we're, you know, recycling plastic, where we're caring for the environment, and all that. So, and the tiny house design, of course. So that's the basic thing I'm working on right now, is this prototype for what kind of house or house design, how can we live harmoniously with the environment in the tropics, and basically 70% of the world's population, or it could be 80%, live in developing countries where, you know, bamboo isn't a popular thing. I mean, it's all being harked on about in, you know, the 1% circles and people that can afford to use bamboo, because it's actually quite expensive when you go through the treatment process and everything, and all the cool and groovy stuff. And so, I mean, this design that I'm working on with the tiny house is basically to come up with a model for a bamboo house design, and also just general skills associated with working with bamboo and renewable energy systems, like, you know, pumping water, everything, you know, everything being appropriate technology, affordable. So 70% of the world's population lives in developing countries. They don't have access to this technology. So part of the big thing is this, having people come for internships, like, and people can pay to come and be part of internships, and I love that. And I hope that that will help sponsor someone. I mean, I really, for the bang for the buck, like, as a Westerner coming to Bali with like $100, like, I'm actually, when I change my money into local currency, that's actually the equivalent of $1,000 in the local, you know, like, of what I could spend in Australia in the local currency. So I would like to see something, my sort of idea is like, okay, well, $1,000. I mean, that's why everyone goes to Asia. Oh, it's so cheap in Asia. But it's like, no Asian could ever come to frickin' Australia. Like, they would have to save up the equivalent of $30,000 in their culture to come to Australia for a holiday. I mean, you know, don't get me started. So, yeah, okay, we've got 70% of the world living in developing countries with not much knowledge or expertise about, I mean, they have the skills with bamboo, but they don't have the knowledge about like the non-polluting systems, recycling plastic, bamboo preservation techniques that can be done at a village scale, that don't need big factories and big expenses. Because if we don't do that and hit it where it's going to count, like 80% of the world's population, then I mean, just look at Kuala Lumpur the last few years, like how many, everywhere, Bali, everything, like the air conditioners, like the concrete buildings, like all the nature is getting built out, like it's just becoming more and more developed. And if we keep developing in this way, like, so what if 1% of us is like, oh yeah, we're so sustainable, we've got a bamboo house. Like, if the rest of the world isn't following suit and not able to, then what the fuck? We're all just on the same Titanic, and we might be on the top deck, but, you know, really we're just rearranging deck chairs. I love that expression. I hated it when I first saw it, but then I realised it was true. So I believe that if you come on an internship as someone from a Western country and you pay like $1,000, then $500 of that goes towards sponsoring an outreach, and hopefully more than one outreach. I mean, it's really just, the big thing is airfares. I mean, it's not so big. I mean, I've got someone wanting to come from Nigeria to come and learn about this bamboo stuff that he can take back to his local village, and I'd like to see, I have a friend also from Philippines that's interested more in being an artist, but you know, yeah, I'll get into those sort of programs a bit later on. But that's basically where I see, like, where between the socio-ecological side and the socio-cultural side. So we have a lot of yayasan all through Indonesia that support children with disabilities and special needs. And in a lot of those yayasans, like, nobody's even getting paid. Like, there's no funding, there's no money for those yayasans. And what I would like to see as part of, you know, like surplus funds going towards people from those yayasans or places coming on an exchange, like learning, skilling local therapists, teachers and parents. So, and that's the concept with the timeshare too. It's like, you come as a timeshare guest, what you're paying is helping I don't like the word subsidise, but like helping local families to access, like basically what you pay would help 5 local families at a local, what do you call it? Like local expense, affordability scale, come and also access what you're able to access. So, and I have a strong belief in that. I'm not a communist, I don't think. Maybe I am, but yeah, it's basically all about this side of the program. If what are paying families that are paying to come and just have their 1 month a year, whatever it is, and you get to come and be part of this awesome community of families. Where are we? Oh, yeah, so I'm going to go into the local families. And join in. Like, what's such a great, if you look at my video on Sagittarius, like, it's just so nice being able to come somewhere, feel included, and see what, that kids are doing stuff that's fun. I mean, I don't know what's meaningful anymore, but as kids or as adults, and I guess that's really where I'm going with this whole project as a whole, because my daughter's 16. I want her to be able to move into somewhere like post-school program where she has organised activities she does every day, actually still part of a school program, also accessed by local families. She's already got local friends there, having volunteers that can come and contribute and be part of a cultural exchange, dance, and of course music, everything like that. And yeah, she can maybe learn skills in the restaurant or warung, like even if it's just taking out the orders or the drinks to people without eating them on the way, like that would be a great achievement. And she likes gardening. I mean, she likes ripping plants out of the ground, but she's very tactile. And I was doing a project in Cairns with some Bhutanese refugees, and yeah, it was really nice just having the community out there. There was people farming. She never did any farming, but we were playing music in the shed. She was like getting into like the mud and clay, when we had the watering system going. That was quite enjoyable for her. And yeah, it's just sort of being in that group of people. That's for me a protective environment when you're with. I can be there too, or I can kind of float away a little bit. I have this concept you can see of cooperative care, and which would basically be like maybe 1 day a week I'm the parent responsible for supervising, a group of 6 or 7 kids in the activities they're going to do for that day. Or it might be that I'm just going to supervise for 2 hours every morning during breakfast time, or it might be that I'm there every Wednesday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, and I'm doing dance lessons with the kids, whatever it is. It's just this thing that as a supervisory role, there's always like one of us parents there whose kids are there, and just keeping an eye on things, because yeah, we have volunteers, we have local staff, and I mean the local people in Bali are just gorgeous. They're just beautiful, but of course when you have kids from that they might not be familiar with, then yeah, we all have to kind of know each other in this sort of homestay group, and be able to just, something's going wrong, like ring that parent straight away, like and also I mean I have this whole thing around there being CCTV is actually a good thing for this sort of situation, when you can just look at your phone and immediately see what your kid's doing, just check that they're in the right place, like not they're in the right place, but you know what I mean, like just keep an eye on them. Like that's a lot of peace of mind for a parent, and it also keeps staff and people accountable. I'm not going to go into a big rave about it now, but I mean, I'm sure families in Australia will be familiar with, hearing about, staff that are meant to be looking after kids with disabilities or adults with disabilities, and because they think nobody's watching, they basically aren't doing their freaking job, are they? So, I mean, I just find the culture totally different in Bali, and yeah, I mean, I want to leave all that behind, way behind. But yeah, I just think it's good peace of mind for parents to be able to check on their kids. We have a opportunity in Tagalalang, which is up in the rice fields at near Ubud. It's in the town part. It's where there's like all these little tourist shops and everything, and it's a great place to go shopping. And they have these little rice fields and then like jungle swings. You know, there's this big thing at the moment, like let's go swinging, which is great for I love swinging. And so we have a building there where we can basically host 4 families at one time. So it would be like a family gathering, and the parents can stay in the upstairs, and there's 4, you know, nice sort of double, whatever you call them, like more queen rooms, luxury rooms, and with beautiful views, and, you know, just like on its own level, relaxing, where I see like the parents can all stay in those 4 rooms up there, and then in the middle, when you go downstairs, you've got the restaurant and the warung and the massage kind of. We're going to have a massage spa there. It's not right off the street or anything. It's basically just a basic kind of therapy room. It's nothing like the spa up at Ubud or anything. And then you go down the stairs, and we'll be making like a secure access to the downstairs, pardon me, which is basically the dorm rooms for the kids, or not dorm rooms, like there's 5 bedrooms there, and then also an attached like studio, like little self-contained apartment, which I see like that's where the kids are going to stay. If families have like some friends or volunteers that are coming along to just help keep an eye on the kids, help supervise them, you know, they can all stay down there. They can run amok, and then, well, no, they can't. You know what I mean? And then from outside there goes down again to the bottom level outside, and there's a big like undercover area and just a bit of an outdoor area. That's all cement and concrete, so yeah, that'll be like paved, and I don't know if we're going to do fake grass or what, but in the underneath it'll be like an activity centre, and that's where we're going to have like day programs for the kids with special needs, and that also can be accessed by local families. But I guess we at the moment are creating like a crowdfunding for that, or a fundraising, what do you call it, funding, one of them, proposal. That's not my job. And yeah, we basically need about $30,000 of funding to complete that, and that's basically refurbishing all the bathrooms, and that's not individual things in the activity centre, so I'm still working on a quote for that. But between Pacquiao and not Pacquiao, that's the boxer, sorry, and you know, just having a basic, you know, foam flooring, and then we're going to do like a sensory room. I'm hoping to get some people around to do some like hanging pods for like sensory pods for the kids if they want that sort of, you know, inward time, you know, have that quiet space, have some lighting, like lighting effects, and yeah, a quiet area, and then an activity area, foam padding on the floors, might even make a little I'm not even going to say it again, playground there, and yeah, that's basically a vision for where we can have cultural exchange with other families, but basically the international families will come there as a group, and that'll be one of our stepping stones before we actually build an entire village, because yeah, my sort of model in my mind is from making one house to making another 5 houses or 6 houses, or that'll be 6 to 36 houses. So and maybe the interim step, it just depends like how many people are interested and want to be involved, whether I'm going to go to just finding an area of land that would suit 5 or 6 houses, or whether I'm going to go full bore into 36. And there'll be more information about that on the website. So in our local community, how I see this, creating more equality and more opportunity for local families, is that they can live in the village as well, of course, if it's okay. Just one quick tangent. One idea is to have an actual village, an area of land that's sort of all planned out and blah blah blah. The other idea is to actually just integrate with the local community. So where I was saying about building homestay houses, like a lot of families you see I meet around Bali have it, they're like, oh, I have land for sale, do you want to buy my land or rent my land? And so it would be more like and maybe it's usually around 3 ara that they have, which is about 300 square meters. So it's looking at whether to attach homestay houses to existing local families, and then them having like a role or a job in helping look after someone with a disability. That would be very like more of like, I guess, more intimate and more like a long-term homestay situation. Or are we looking at doing, an actual planned development with, 6 or 36 houses? Here's the juggalo. I mean, there's a lot of things in Balinese culture already where, like the local banjars, like, why do we need to build a juggalo if there's already community building there? But that's more an aspect of integrating with the local community. That sort of stuff really takes time. And I guess I haven't moved into my bamboo house yet in Seminyak, it's just outside of Seminyak. But when I do, and when we're going to be launching more like social programs and working with the local kids, doing this Pakiao, that one. Just seeing like how welcomed we are, and I just would love to see my daughter being involved in or being able to join in like with how they play music in the temples and practicing their music and stuff. Like, I just love it every time I drive past the temples when they're doing their cultural stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love that. So we've got this direct relationship with local families, and they're basically we're all part of a gathering of families, whether we're international, local, I don't know what the other one, alien species is. And so I guess part of local families' contribution can be more of an in-kind contribution, because, in the West we have in the West we have money but we don't have time, and in the East we have time but we don't have money. So for the local families, they can also be part of this, natural supervision for the school and kids involved in community farming and also in the restaurant. So, and this can all be part of, like the sort of bubbling, forming of local businesses. Like one family might actually, I don't know about this, like actually own the warong or what, or just have jobs. I think people are actually more happy being employed in these positions, and rather than it being, oh, that's my business as the warong. But I guess we just have to see as time goes on. But I think if that's all run as a cooperative on the local scale, like, I really don't think it's something I need to worry about, because these guys are that's just how they work. That's just what they do. like the Hmong families up in around Cairns with their cooperative farming, and I had something else in my head too before, like the Bhutanese when they were out with me farming at near Yarrabah. So it's so there would be this kind of in-kind contribution, but there would also be paid a wage through the ISN, where it's, I mean, that's all for these guys to work out where they feel it's right at their level. But I mean, at the moment, like an average wage for a local person in Indonesia is like around $100 a week, like maybe 120, and sometimes as low as $80 a week. So I mean, if they get to be part of the community, if they get to eat in the community, and just which that we all get to benefit from, the warong, and that we have a better quality of life and food and everything, but without it being a skyrocketed Western price, like it really has to stay local, then I would like to keep, I would like to be able to pay that wage, but that we get all these other benefits as well of, their kids get to attend the school, like a whole social programs. So, because I guess all the sales, so if we're going to the ISN, but local people would be getting paid. This would all be forming jobs, there would be transport, there would be housekeeping, there would be one-on-one care, there would be your massage, and teachers in the school. I see that it's going to create a lot of local economy and stuff, so good for the I don't like those capitalistic terms, oh my god, but that could help the local community to really thrive. So I'm just going to check and see if I and there being like a profit share, giving back to the local community. I mean, naturally, I guess, as if income's coming in, then of course we're going to be doing stuff to improve or expand the community farm, or help another family to start a farm on their property, or convert, from pesticide rice farming to, growing mangoes and, something, mangosteens and whatever it is, fresh salad vegetables. I so miss having salad in Bali. That doesn't cost so bloody fucking much. Expensive. Thank you, water system. I think that's everything for now. I would like to see it as a place where families come and gather and stay and integrate, and for healing, and it's not only special needs. I mean, there could be a normal school too, or I'm not focused on that. I don't want to think about that right now. But basically, this concept for me comes down to that, we need to come together and step outside the capitalist mindset. I've been in a lot of communities and gatherings and blah, blah, blah along the years, around the years. And it's still, we just creep back into this old mindset, of it being about ourselves. Whereas having the focus around special needs children, and with this sort of dynamic or aspect of families with special needs children, like most families or parents of special needs kids that you meet aren't thinking about their retirement. Like, we can't afford to retire. We don't even have time to think about that. We just want a place that's going to be safe for our kids, that where they can live in the future after we die, where they're going to be looked after. And when you have this sort of focus, and even that it gives people the opportunity, like don't say that word in Indonesia, artists and skilled professionals and people that want to come and learn about local culture or skills, attend workshops, who care about the environment, who are going to help do social and environmental programs, it gives this beautiful focus, and it also gives a great environment to hang out with. I mean, I love hanging out with kids with special needs. I just love it, and coming as to be a contribution to others, because as most parents of special needs kids will tell you, like, it's impossible to look after a child with special needs on your own. It's not that it's hard, like, these kids are gorgeous. I mean, my daughter, she's gorgeous, but when it's all the time, every day, like, and you're not getting a break, it's quite dangerous. It's dangerous for your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health. Like, being a single parent, I've, had a few close breakdowns and some breakdowns before in the past, and it's not fun, and it really doesn't take that much for me to get the break I need. Like, when I used to have HelpX, or people exchange, who will come and stay in my house and do 2 or 3 hours. Well, they do 2 hours with Freya in the morning and 2 hours with Freya in the afternoon, evening, helping her get ready for school and all that stuff. And that is how I survived. Like, that is how I'm still alive, and how I made my business, and I did everything when I was back in Australia and managed to stay sane. And that's what a lot of this concept works on, is like, if we can all offer some contribution, whether it's helping look after the kids directly, whether it's working in the gardens and growing the vegetables, whether it's, helping out in the restaurant and making meals in the warung, whether it's, coordinating some activity with the kids, like, where we just cleaning floors or putting away dishes, or, cleaning up after a meal, whether it's you're in, doing massages for parents in the health spa, whether you're selling products online that are produced by the ISN, whether you're offering your skills as a therapist or natural medicine practitioner to local kids and international kids, whether you want to come on a working holiday exchange program or something like that, whether you have a skill you want to come and share with local kids and, just help enrich lives of local children and help build relationships and friendships between, the eastern and western parts, whether you want to come and pay to come to a workshop about bamboo building or all these amazing things that we're doing, or whether you're really interested in plastic and recycling and actually, I don't know why this is coming into my mouth, but, working with the local university to help develop this kind of technology, because it's all right on the brink there at the moment. There's lots of stuff going on with the plastic right now in Bali and potential there. Whether you, like I sort of went over this one, but with your artists, you can do your work in the community 3 or 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and the rest of the time can be yours to work on your art or whatever it is that you do. And then, or if you are a family with a child with a disability, or, it doesn't only have to be children with disabilities, like, and you want to come and spend time as part of a timeshare retreat. Maybe you already have other families around you, or other people that you want to spend time with, or maybe you don't, but that you want to spend time in this kind of place. So, because one possibility is, like, we bring groups of people or people that are running or coordinating their own retreats that come in and, basically hire out the village. And oops, I think this is where I got sidetracked before. For what the international families come and staying in the village for 6 months a year, and then the other 6 months is offered to outreach, local families, needing to come and access these sort of therapists that might be here, giving their time for the local families and the international families. It's sort of like a 50-50 thing. So whether you're a family that wants to come and stay and you have already another group of families that you want to come and stay with. You're self-organising, that's fine. If you're not self-organising, like we have Mitha, who's going to be working at that level, and also we have a travel agent, special needs travel agent in Melbourne, Kim Salter, and she's going to be helping like group families together and coordinate everything that needs to be done on the travel agency side of things, and just to help form these peer group friendships. And I guess it's something I haven't even really touched on, is that's the thing, is the peer group and support for parents and families with kids with disabilities, is creating that support and together looking forward to the future, to what we would like to create for our kids, whether it's back in Australia or whether we want to be involved in doing stuff here. Like, I really can't handle life in Australia. Like, I'm a disability refugee in Bali. I would love for Freya to be able to live in Australia one day, and I would love to create this kind of village in Australia as well. And I'm sure we will get there. But the interim side of that is actually just forming these friendships and supporting each other, because when you're in stress and when you're in overwhelm and when you're not coping, like, how can you even think about the future? How can you even begin to dream about what's going to be the best outcome for your child? Like, I mean, this vision has been going on for me for a long time, since I was in Philippines after the typhoon, and I was doing volunteering on an earthship project there, and I just see it's like this is essential to us being able to move forward as parents. It's not going to cost the earth. I mean, like it doesn't have to cost millions of dollars. We don't need these freaking, disability agencies that, okay, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. If we can coordinate together with this cooperative, supervised care, just think of how much money and funding that's going to save. I've forgotten my whole NDIS package, which was over $100,000. I don't even get the carer payment or anything at the moment, but because it's too stressful. This whole bureaucratic system is too stressful. So, it was making me sick. So this is what I'm moving into, and I don't know exactly how it's going to look, or I'm not attached to how it actually looks in the future, but I'm focused on, creating this village, creating these social networks, creating this. It's more about the management structure too, and we can really learn from local Indonesian people about how to work together, coming from that Western, competitive mindset. Like, people in Asia just have this beautiful humbleness and, sense of serving the other, and maybe they can become a bit more selfish like us and put themselves in front and say, yes, I want that for my children. And but I would like to learn and on how to develop this model where it can be applied in Australia. And I think when we're in Australia and we've got our normal jobs, or if I was here working my business, I wouldn't have time, seriously wouldn't have time. And you don't get enough funding and all that stuff to even, scratch your butt. So having this, I want to have families who are committed to this, spending time developing these ideas. I mean, it's not all about work and not all about thinking about the future, but there's an aspect of it. It's going to be to do with future planning. And I just think we need that. We need the support to be able to even, pull our heads out of the water, of our storm of our everyday lives that just goes on and on, to really vision this and discuss this and see how it can work in an Australian context would be great. I mean, I'd love to live 6 months in Australia and 6 months in Indonesia. So at the moment, I just have to be there. Well, I'm in Australia right now. There in Indonesia to be focused on it. But yeah. So initially, we're going to be opening what do you call it? Invitations to come to retreats being hosted in Tegalalang, and I think the first one will be in the September-October holiday, because I was going to do it in June, July, but I just think it's going to be too stressful for me, and that's slightly crazy. So I'm going to, push it back to the next holiday. But and just putting up some ideas of activities and, programs and that sort of stuff. I'm going to give a bit of a video of the venue so families can see where it is, and just keep adding more information to that. That'll probably be it'll be on the Friends of Freya website, but also on the special supported special needs family homestay, I keep forgetting what I called it, Facebook page. And you can also join Facebook group Friends of Freya. And if you really feel like you want to become involved in how this is going to look and how it's going to play out, and if you want to become part of an inner circle of families that are going to drive this to the next stage. So basically there's an opportunity for 5 families to come on board in the first step. I'm not willing to do 36 just yet. I know 5 is manageable. So I'm looking for 5 other families that will that want to commit to making a homestay village in Bali where they can spend, it'll actually be 6 months a year. So so if you're a group of families and you just all want to spend 1 month a year there, all that sort of stuff. So really it could be 30 families. Do feel free to get in contact and message us in the message area, and I'll be in touch again soon. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Where is it? There.